I'm going to replace this chandelier with this one, and in the process show you how easy it is to hang a heavy chandelier all by yourself.
So this looks like a pretty light chandelier other than the glass shades. So I'm just gonna take the glass shades off. Looks like I can just pull it out. Oh yeah, this is really light.
I had already cut the power to this electrical box from the breaker panel.
So I'm just gonna disconnect the wires and just pull the chandelier out.
Although you can't see what I'm doing here, after taking the nuts off, I'm now separating those chandelier wires from the house wires. So I can just pull the chandelier off.
Okay, so it was a cinch to take this chandelier off. The problem is trying to hang this chandelier, which is really heavy. It's really heavy for me, so I can't be holding on to this with one hand while trying to connect the wires with the other. Taking the shade off will help, but there's a trick. I've already made a video on this, but I'm gonna make it again because this is such a great trick for anybody to be able to hang heavy chandeliers all by themselves. Now, the first thing you want to do is figure out how long you want the chain to be. I would like my chain to have 1, 2, 3, 4 links. So I'm gonna open the link here. See if I can do this. And I'm going to open the link here. So I'm just gonna pull the wire out. So this would be how long from the ceiling I want the chain to be. And so I would like to cut the wire about right here. Just give myself more room. I can always cut more, but I can't add back the wires. So I think this would be good. Just realized I didn't have my camera on, so I lost footage of my snipping the wires. But basically this is what I used. And then I just cut the wires like this. I'm gonna take this thing apart.
There's already a bracket and a nipple installed on the electrical box. I'm gonna reuse the bracket, but replace the nipple with this one.
You see, the canopy for the original chandelier is deeper, so it needed a longer nipple. But the canopy for the replacement chandelier is shallower, so the nipple doesn't have to be as long. And you don't want to use a nipple that's longer than necessary because it can get frustrating trying to push the wires through the nipple. Actually, this nut doesn't even need to be there. I'm just gonna take it off. I'm just feeling to make sure that there's sufficient amount of nipple coming through on the other side of the bracket. And this is the part of the chandelier that the chain will be hanging from.
It's called the hanger loop.
Now, this next step is really important. You might notice that this is not the chandelier that I'm hanging. I accidentally deleted the original clip. So I'm shooting this part again, which is you need to first put the ring through and then put the canopy through in this direction to be able to hang the chandelier. See this open link? If you remember, I had pried it open. I'm going to hook this onto the hanger loop that you just saw me install. I ended up taking off the glass shade after all because I couldn't lift the chandelier over my head otherwise. So I should qualify what I had said earlier. You can hang any heavy chandelier all by yourself as long as you can still lift it up over your head, or you have a very tall step ladder that wouldn't require you to lift it up so high. Now I'm closing up the open chain link. It's not completely closed, but that's okay. It's still good enough. It won't fall out. Now I'm going to push the wires up through the nipple. Do these first, and then push up the ground wire. And they have come through, and I'm going to pull them down now so you can see how I'm going to wire them. This box is so tiny that I can't seem to pull out the wires using my fingers. I'm gonna have to use just these pliers. Yeah. So there's that, and then here's the ground wire. This one I can push up some more and then pull out as I'm pushing up. I think there's sufficient ground wire to wrap this around the green ground screw right here. Okay, so now I'm going to just strip the wires. This just pulls apart. I don't know if you can see it. These are like the best wire strippers. So inexpensive, but works so well. I'm gonna put a link to it in the description box. So I'm gonna connect the hot wire to the red house wire, and then the neutral wire to the white wire. And the way you can tell is that you can feel the wires. So this is ribbed, and that's the neutral wire. And this is smooth, so that's the hot wire. Just gonna mark it like this. So I'm going to attach the hot wire to the red house wire. I'm just reusing the old wire nut. And I'm going to attach the neutral wire to the white wires. Give a little tug. I'm gonna push these wires back into the electrical box. You know, this actually is the house ground wire. What I could have done is combine these two together using a wire nut, and that would have worked. But I'm just gonna wrap both of them under the screw and tighten the screw. So that should work. Okay.
I just bent the ground wire closer to the chain links so that it's not sticking out to the side.
And the wiring was successful because I can turn on the lights.